Twitch needs to stop gambling streamers. We're going to watch this. Obviously, this has been a very popular topic for quite a while. Here we go.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock all of you. I'm a gambling addict.
Wow.
I know. I haven't really talked about it much, but it's true and shocking. 5 years ago, it got so bad, I had $100 left in my bank account. And you know what I did with that 100? I gambled it on a Mario Party 4 minigame against Slime and lost. I panicked, didn't know what to do, so I asked for a double or nothing, knowing that if I lost the double or nothing, I would have zero way of paying the final 200, and I would have to embarrassingly walk away from the bet. Luckily, I won. I told Slime about that months later, and he forgave me, but it just shows how bad my gambling addiction got.
Right.
Honestly, there was no greater rush in my life than the opportunity to lose every last penny I had. I can't do that now because I have 15 employees, so you're welcome, Gallon, for not gambling your children's future college funds away. But I'm not the only streamer with that gambling issue.
That's true.
XQC has the same problem. Here's a clip of him on Pokey's podcast.
Off stream than on stream.
Yeah, I gamble every day. I lost 2 million this month.
Really?
I lost 1.85 million this month.
He lost $1.85 million off stream.
I don't know why this would, like, to me, I always find it to be very odd. I don't really, I never gamble. Like, I will, but not like where I can get money back. It's like I like do like Lost Ark honing or something like this, right? I'm not actually gambling money where I can get the money back. Like, honing is not the same because there's literally never an outcome with honing where you get your return. You're not getting any money back no matter what. Doesn't matter if you one tap your plus 20 sword, you're not making any money.
Plus 100K in my poker event too. It got so bad that his dad called him on stream about how worried he was. It's a problem for him. But he's bringing the problem offline to the online realm because this week he went back to doing online gambling streams. This went on LSF. It went on.
I appreciate Ludwig putting his camera on the other side so I don't have to readjust mine. It's actually very, very nice of him to do. Very, just generous for him to do this for me. Yeah, he knows what it is.
An r/all. It was big news. Why? Because he's the biggest streamer in the world.
Yep.
And also, he said he wouldn't do it.
Like, what more can I do?
This is a clip from 10 months ago when he used to gamble online. Then there was a whole shitstorm about it. There was an H3H3 podcast.
A clip about me.
And then he said this.
What am I going to do? You shouldn't gamble on stream. You shouldn't do it. We've known this. I said it.
Oh, what is that?
Don't do it. Yep. I'm sorry for doing it. I'm genuinely sorry that I gambled on stream. Okay?
He went back to doing it.
Yeah.
Now, he says he changed his mind and that he's not a hypocrite. He just no longer feels that way. He felt pressured back then. But understandably, after fans saw this for 5 hours today, a few of them
were unhappy. Yeah, they were unhappy. And that's always what it's going to be. Yeah, sure. And I could fix them. Well, there's no reason to there's no reason to do that. But like, it's just, this is what happens. People get pissed off, and that's all there is to it. Hold people accountable, LMFAO, you can't. You can't. How are you going to hold them accountable? Make a post on his Reddit? He just deletes the post. What are you going to do?
And this post, I think, speaks volumes. It's 3,000 upvoted, one of the top posts in his subreddit. And it basically says that I don't want to watch you anymore because what you are doing is making me sad. And I've been watching for like 4 years. And I don't know. I didn't think you would do this. And XQC replied in the most...
I can tolerate toxicity in games. It feels too far. I feel for your copy paste to this meme. I mean, like, but he had already gambled before. Gamba content is just so bad. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, didn't he do gambling stream like last year? I mean, it's not like this is the first time it's happened. Yeah, I mean, if this was the end of the line for you, like, what about the time that he did it before? This time is 10 times worse? No? Not really. Like, I would say this time is actually not as bad as last time. Because last time a lot of people weren't doing it, and now it's been much more normalized. It's way more normalized in society to have for stake to happen and all of that. Like, you have Drake tweeting about this constantly. Different sports events and sports teams are being sponsored by these gambling events. I would actually argue that it's become more normalized in the last year and not less normalized. That's still a dumb reason. Well, yeah, I'm not saying if it's a dumb reason or not. I'm saying that, like, it just seems odd to me that somebody would be upset about it here whenever it was actually, in my opinion, worse then.
Same fashion by doubling down and just saying, I don't give a shit. I am not a role model for you guys. If you don't like it, leave.
That's smart.
Fair enough.
That's smart. That's what he should say. That's what I would say. That's what I say whenever people aren't happy with what I'm doing, and I think that's a good idea. People put too much pressure on streamers, and streamers are not going to just decide, hey, I'm going to just bow down to your pressure and do what you want. People are just going to say, well, fuck this. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to do what I want to do, and if people don't like it, it doesn't matter to me.
The only streamer doing this. But why would he do it? Why do this gambling online if people are going to get really, really mad at you? And I can only think of two good reasons. One, you're already addicted and doing it offline, so you might as well do it online.
There's three good reasons. Second one, you're going to use is money, Ludwig. Everybody knows that. But the third one is because it's great content. I know there's going to be people that say, oh, gambling is bad content. No, it's not. Gambling is not bad content. If it was bad content, it wouldn't be some of people's most popular streams. Whenever anybody gambles, their viewers go up tremendously. This is an objectively true statement that can be that can be confirmed through data. Like, it's objectively true. It doesn't matter, like, oh, it's boring, I don't like it. It doesn't matter what you like. Don't you understand? I'm not telling you that you're wrong for not liking it. I'm telling you that you're wrong for saying that it's not popular.
And two, if you do it sponsored, you're going to make a shit ton of money. Now, the main culprit of all the online gamblings is Stake. That is the main partner. And they sponsor Aiden Ross.
Yep.
They sponsor XQC. And they also sponsor Train. How much do they pay these people? I don't know how much they pay XQC.
A lot of
because
money.
Aiden Ross leaked his DMs, we know they pay him at least $4 million a month.
Well, that's pretty fucking good, right? Because you do that for a whole year, and you've got over almost $50 million. That's a lot of money, yeah. So they're making, the thing is, yeah, they're paying them that much a month. I'm not even kidding. Now, I also think that Ludwig could be wrong in this number a little bit, because if I'm referring to the leaked DMs, I thought that this doesn't really matter, but like gambling sponsors pay a lot of money, but this is just my own commentary, is that if I remember correctly with this controversy, whenever Aiden Ross leaked those DMs, the person from Stake was actually talking about a package deal with him and a bunch of other people, and they would collectively be paid that much money, but this could have been something else in the past. I don't know.
Which is crazy. That is an insane amount of money. In a year, that is more than Ninja made on his Mixer deal.
Yeah.
That is more than Tom Brady makes on his NFL contract. It's a shit ton of money.
I can't believe that these gambling websites would be so generous to give these people and to give Aiden $4 million a year. I mean, he's just a kid starting out, and they wanted to help him out and just, really do him a favor, and you could say pay it forward. And so they gave him a $4 million a month contract. That's crazy.
It's hard to say no to that amount of money.
Of course.
Look, I'm not a high road guy. I'm not here to say that, oh, I am much better. I would never take a gambling sponsorship. But I don't know if that's because I have devout morals that I stand by to a T, or because I don't want the backlash of people to be mad at me. And
the reason why I'm not going to take a gambling sponsorship, or I really wouldn't want to, I have no plans on doing that, is if they offered me $20 million a month, I wouldn't do it. Like, I mean, it's not, there's no reason to do it. Who gives a fuck, right? I mean, I already have a lot of money. And the real reason why, here's the truth. And it's kind of an ego reason. It's because I plan to make content for the rest of my life. I'm not planning on retiring next year. I'm planning on continuing with my company and being successful with this for the rest of my life. So why would I sell out and damage my reputation? Do you see kind of what I'm saying? Now, I would also argue that like this becomes less important. So maybe in 5 years, maybe I could take a gambling sponsorship and nobody would care, because you'd go to McDonald's and steak would be advertising on Happy Meals. And then it's like, oh, if you get mad at me, well, why aren't you getting mad at McDonald's? I could see this happening, sure. But I'll cross that bridge whenever I get to it. It's not a joke, by the way. I mean, it's good to get kids into gambling early, right? Because it's the same reason why people try to indoctrinate kids in a religion, right? Is that you indoctrinate people into this early so their critical thinking isn't as fully developed, and it's easier to manipulate them and get them into the habit.
Like the audience I've cultivated and don't want to disappoint people.
Yeah, that's why it's better to get
I genuinely
kids into
don't know the
gambling.
answer to that question, which maybe is a problem that I have to deal with, but that's me being honest. Look, 64 out of the top 1,000 streamers have done a crypto gambling stream. All right, it's too tempting. I mean, look at the king himself, Trainwreck. He's on a 38-hour stream right now, gambling the entire way. And the gambling...
No, Ludwig, you don't understand. He's not gambling. He's gambling on 2 screens. And what he does, because honestly, guys, I'm going to expose myself. I watch Train, and I watch these guys, Raj. I watch XQC gamble all the time. I think it's funny. I'm just curious, right? It's just something you can have in the background where they're just talking. Yeah, it's kind of like the reason why I do it is because I don't know how many times I've been in a Discord call with like Train or like Greek or people like that, especially Train. And so it's just like I kind of am just listening in on the Discord call, if more than anything. It's not even a stream almost. But yeah, it's like white noise. It's good. And so he's doing 2 gambles. And like usually what he does, my understanding is like whenever he hits a one of the duels, I think, then he'll play this one and try to go for the big money, because this is the one that I think he won $22 million on. So yeah, he's not gambling. He's gambling twice. 16
He's pretty
million?
liked.
Oh, sorry.
He is a top 11 streamer in the world.
There it is.
Okay, if you see this graph right here, his main success has come from gambling.
That's true.
People said a year ago that it would fall off and people would get bored of the gambling. No,
It does
he's
not
bigger
seem
than
that
ever.
way.
People like gambling content. They just like watching it.
That's right.
I have 3 stats for you guys.
They
the
do.
first one, over 60% of Americans have gambled in the past year. The second one,
That's crazy. 60% of people? I didn't know it was that common. I thought it was like maybe just a bit. But like that's a huge amount of fucking people. 60%. It's being normalized? Well, yeah, of course it's being normalized. And also, do you guys want to know the real reason why I wouldn't take a gambling sponsorship? I forgot to mention this. If I was willing to take a gambling sponsorship, I'd just make my own website for gambling. Obviously, they make way more money because they're paying streamers this much money. Like, I just make my own website and pay people myself. Yeah, I mean, like that's way better. Yeah, like you said yesterday. Yeah, of course.
over 80% of Americans are okay with gambling. The third stat,
Yep.
this is a Swedish study. It studied about 2,100.
And that's the truth, right? Is that like a lot of people online don't like it. The face, man. I've got to move on.
addicted gamblers.
Okay, there we go. I can't pause on that fucking face and not just fucking say something about it, right? And so anyway, yeah, 80% of people are totally okay with this. So there are people that are outspoken and they're very angry about gambling. They see gambling and they get pissed off about it and they're really loud and angry, but they're not the majority of people. They're not. And I think that the truth is that, like, everybody wants to get rid of it, but 80% of America? Well, yeah, but Twitch is in America, and yeah, you're right. I don't know. Maybe in other countries it could be even more. Maybe it could be less. I think that, I don't know. I'd be curious to see. That's actually a very good statistic. I'd actually be curious to see is like what the different international sentiments are and not just American. Absolutely. The issue is marketing it to kids. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean, you have all of the lottery tickets that are shown right there in the convenience store whenever kids go in there and see them. I don't think that's the issue. Lotteries the lotteries are not interviewed, but they're advertised everywhere where kids can see them all over the world, or at least all over America here. Yeah, they can't buy them though. Well, you can't gamble on stake either unless you have a credit card, and you have to be over 18 to have a credit card, right? Like, that's my understanding. Is like, yeah, I'm sure that they check if you're under 18. No. 16, not 18. You don't? Not with crypto. You literally can as a minor? Wait, is that really true? So kids can make a stake account? If that's true, I had no idea about this. So you're telling me that, like, a kid can say that he can make a stake account? That's insane. Holy shit. Wow. No age verification on stake? You can, but you won't be able to take anything out? That's really bad. I did not know that at all. You won't be able to withdraw? How convenient. But you can deposit all you want. Yeah, I don't know how that's not illegal. Like, I know they check after a while. They have age verification. Let's see. It's very bad. That's also very bad. You always talk about things are in a certain way. It's okay. And that's what's okay. People have always said that gambling is bad. Well, that's clearly not true, though. Like, it's clearly that's not what the numbers say. Yeah, chat is lying. I think so. It's illegal in the U.S. Stake is offshore. I mean, this has been my opinion on the gambling streams, and I will reiterate what my opinion on the gambling streams is I will direct no animosity to any streamer who is taking advantage of gambling streams. But I do think that Twitch should remove gambling streams from the platform. I think that it puts them at a liability, especially in countries in Europe that have stricter gambling laws, and I think that it will be detrimental to Twitch in the long term. I don't really, I don't gamble myself. I'm not a fan of it. But again, I think people should be able to do what they want to do with their own money, generally, sure. But in terms of the streams, I'm not going to shit on anybody for doing that. But I do think that it's not healthy for the website. And it seems like it's a problem that's only going to get worse. Does that make sense? You can click yes on a porn site when it clicks 18 years or older. Yes. Yeah, of course you can. What about game sponsors with addictive loot box mechanics? Isn't it basically the same? I think that if you yes and no. I think, like, in an abstract, yes. Functionally, no. Twitch has gambling. I know, that's my point. It's kind of moot statistics. Even buying one lottery ticket is including gambling, and that's 80% agreeing. I don't know. I would consider buying lottery tickets gambling. I mean, absolutely. But yeah, that's my take on it. That's my opinion. I think that it puts Twitch in a very, very non-advantageous position. I think that it can stand to, like, really damage the website in a very tangible way, and I think it's a big problem. So yeah, that's generally what I think. Crypto exchanges require age verification, so Stake recently made new accounts require KYC verification to deposit. I think that regardless of that, and, like, maybe that's true, maybe that's not, right? I don't want to go back and forth with you guys and be like, oh, well, they said this. Wait a minute, no, they actually said that. Like, I don't want to do that because it's just fucking annoying. Because I'm listening to one group of people that have, as far as I know, like, no credibility. And then there's another group of people that have equally no credibility telling me that the first group is wrong. You know, like, I have no idea. Just Google it then. Yeah, I'll have to look it up and see for myself. Okay, here we go.
About 20% of them attempted suicide.
Yeah.
It's a problem. But I don't think the onus of whether you gamble or do not gamble should ever be on the streamer. I have a theory where I just feel like we shouldn't rely on humans to have the morality that we are looking for. They should not.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that. This is something I've said many times, is that people will always choose personal gain over morality. This is just what's happened. And it's like, you can get mad about this. You can say this is how it shouldn't be, but it is true.
Be the ethical person. It should be the platform. The platform is the one that should dictate what is okay and not okay, rather than hoping that thousands and thousands of people will all abide by loose guidelines that we all think people should abide by.
That we also don't all think people should abide by. There are some people, like, I think in Islam, gambling is just simply against the law. You just can't gamble. And other places, like Las Vegas, it's completely okay. So everybody has different levels of morality, and that's like another problem where it's like, well, how, like, whose morality are you going to base this off of? You see what I'm saying? The platform's run by people too. They could say the exact same thing. I think that the collective group can always come to a more fair conclusion than an individual. I think that once you leave it up to an individual, especially without any actual accountability on them, they'll always do whatever is best for them.
Now, this is the current guidelines for Twitch on gambling, and it says, to prevent harm and scams created by questionable gambling services that sponsor content on Twitch, we will prohibit sharing links or referral codes. So if you ever tune into Trainwreck stream, it will say, do not gamble. And anytime he wins, it'll say,
gamble. Do not start. Gambling is entertainment and entertainment only. You won't break even.
That's it. People scared to criticize XQC. No one had problems checking Trainwrecks. No, I think the opposite. I think people could gain a lot by shitting on XQC right now because there's a lot of like disgruntled viewers that might go watch them instead. And like obviously those disgruntled viewers will go and promote that person a lot on LSF because that's where they go. So I think that it's actually the opposite. I've said the same thing with Train, you know, or Rosh, right? I mean, it's got nothing to do really with who it is. I think if anything, it's the opposite. Dolo, thanks for 5 subs. I appreciate it.
Won't win. You won't do any of that.
This plays every time he does a big win, which, you know, okay, good job maybe stopping that a little bit. That's nice. But that's not going to stop people.
Well, if it did, then Stake would stop sponsoring him. It's obvious that it doesn't help. It's obvious. Because if it did, then they'd stop giving him money.
And I know that firsthand because I remember early on when I had my sponsored poker streams, I would do a little bit of blackjack offline. I would take my poker winnings and play blackjack with it. And one day I went up big. I spun up like 1K all the way to like $10,000. And that was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. And I went and told Slime, and I was like, but please don't gamble, because I know he has a gambling addiction himself.
Jesus Christ! How does everybody have
the
this?
next day? I wanted to make my 10,000 into 20.
This is horrible.
And I lost all of it. I went from 10,000 to 0.
That's what you get.
And I went to tell Slime, and I said, dude, I lost everything. And he's like, it sucks, man. That same night, Slime, without telling me, put $500 onto the online casino to spin it up.
Because it's narcissism. People think that I'm special and I'm better and I'm going to be lucky, and that's what it is. I think that a lot of gambling is derived from narcissism. It's people that believe that they're going to be the lucky one. They're going to be the one that wins. I think that's a big fucking reason, man. It is. Like, people delude themselves into believing that. And I listened to a 100K buy-in poker stream where someone lost over $1 million. Maybe he did. And I think that, like, I don't know. I think poker is a lot different than slots. Like, I think I don't even consider poker gambling. I don't, because you have an outcome like roulette, slots, like rolling dice, this kind of stuff like that. Like, I consider that gambling. Like, that's hard gambling. Like, gambling on a poker game is, in my opinion, like, not really gambling, because you can have you have an impact on the outcome of the game. Does that make sense? Like you can change the outcome of the game in these other cases. It's soft gambling. Yeah, sure. I think it does exist on the spectrum. But I don't have a problem with poker gambling. I have no problem with it.
Seeing me lose, he did it.
Yeah.
And I asked him why. I was like, dude, I lost. Why would you put in money? He's like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to hit the dream one time. And that's it.
Of course.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
The argument that people always make is, this is a bad influence for the kids.
It is.
The kids can't really get their hands on a lot of money. Yeah, maybe there's an example of a kid getting his mom's card and buying Bitcoin and then putting it into stake.com and gambling. But I think the bigger problem are the gambling addicts, the addictive personalities, the people who know in their head that it is rigged, that this is mathematically meant to make me lose, but do not have the self-control to not gamble. And any slight trigger will send them over the edge. And you can say, well, then just don't watch the content. But it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard as a gambling addict, okay? A little thing can just make you just have the urge to bet. And it happens to me a lot. It happens to me a shit ton, but I try to avoid it because I have 15 employees and I don't want to.
It's not the streamer's fault. I don't really care about like whose fault it is, because at the end of the day, people do have to be responsible for what they do. You can't You can't rely on other people to protect you from yourself. You can't rely on other people to have your best interests in mind. You can't rely on the government to protect you, right? You can't rely on anybody. So the truth is that even if you don't like this truth, is that you have to have your own personal responsibility, because gambling addicts, it's the same as drug addicts, right? I mean, like we see this with the Johnny Depp case. Like, cocaine's illegal. Marijuana in a lot of places is still illegal. Quaaludes, well, there's hardly any of them left, but that's still illegal, right? Taking all of the drugs that they're talking about, all of these are all illegal. So do you guys see kind of what I'm saying? Is like it's these people will still seek out gambling if it's illegal. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with it. It's hard to find it, dude. It's a disease way too underestimated. Imagine if being a gamer was harmful. Would you quit? I think being a gamer is harmful. I think that same as being a gambler isn't necessarily harmful. I think that these things exist on a spectrum. Would you say somebody who spends $200 every year whenever they go to Las Vegas with their friends for a bachelor party is a gambler? No, I would not consider them a gambler. A gambling addict? No. I think a gaming addict can be just as bad as a gambling addict. There are people that die from blood clots for sitting down too long. There are people who, don't do other things in their real life because of it. Like, people can get addicted to a lot of things and ruin their life with it very easily. It's nothing that's unique to gambling. It's just that gambling has a much stronger psychological pull, so it happens more often.
Let them all down and lose all their money. But it's scary. So I have a new rule, a new guideline that I think would solve gambling online and gambling on Twitch.
Here we go.
No sponsored gambling streams. It's a simple rule. Do not allow sponsored gambling streams, because there's two major problems with it.
I think that's a generally good insight. I mean, yeah, that definitely would help. I mean, for sure. In my opinion, I don't really think that this is going to do anything, because a lot of these people, like especially people overseas, they're probably still going to get money under the table. And then there's also going to be like a distinction between what is sponsored. Like, is sponsored that they give you the money? Is sponsored that, it's like there's a lot of ways that you can get around this. And I think that gambling websites would be more relevant, or not relevant, be less reluctant to take advantage of those things.
One, you have people
Loopholes,
who are getting a shit ton of money. Millions and millions of dollars.
Like for example, like let's say, and like this would not hold up in a court of law, but there's no precedent to establish it as being wrong, as far as I know at least, is like, what if they let you gamble, but any of the money that you made up to $3 million a month, you got that money back. But the money that you put in is not like that. You see kind of what I'm saying? You can put the money in there yourself. Basically find a loophole. Yeah, people are going to find loopholes very easily.
So they are gambling way more recklessly. I totally believe that Train is gambling with his own money, but he's also making so much fucking money that he's able to gamble $1 million and lose it in a day, because he's going to get $10 million that month or some shit. And I don't think that should be allowed. I think it's too reckless. If Train lost $1 million and had zero sponsor, he couldn't do this forever. He couldn't do it for a year straight, because after 10 months, he would have $0 fucking dollars in his bank account. Now, I'm not saying I want Train to lose all his money, but at least that wouldn't make him gamble for 38 hours straight, knowing that he always has the fallback next month of the cap.
I've said this before with the different gambling stuff, is that if you put money into a slot machine long enough, it doesn't matter the amount of money that you start with. The ending amount will be $0. If you do it enough times, you will end up with $0. It doesn't matter if you start with $10, $100, or $10 million. Pull it enough times, you will end up with $0.
Cash cow coming back in. That's the first problem. People gambling too much money because they're getting paid too much money. The second problem are streamers who use fake money to gamble.
Oh, like
I don't think XQC or Train are doing this, but I do know this happens because it was in a CoffeeZilla video.
People were accusing Rosh of doing this. I don't know if that's true or not.
This is the main culprit. Steve will do it. I'll just roll the clip.
If I started like putting my own money in this, I feel like I'm feeling like if I just filled myself with 4,000, it's like, right?
You got to maybe.
Like I feel like I could like, but also it could be dangerous. But I see it as there's no point in putting my body or your mind through that type of stress. Right? I don't need it.
Yeah, they give him money to gamble with.
In a sponsored gambling stream in Mexico where he lives part-time to do these sponsored gambling streams, he came to the realization that, gambling with your own money could be stressful and bad for your life. That's crazy. That's how do you find that out then? That's like showing up to a KKK rally and being like, I think
they're
racist here? Dude.
Oh, bro, like, never mind. Like, I thought this was just getting together with the boys. What's this cross? Like, I just like cosplay. Like, yeah, it's just, here's the thing, right, is that a lot of these guys, they're just going to do it. It's actually just so simple. They're going to do it because it makes them a lot of money. And, like, also, like, the sponsored gambling streams, like, as I said, I think that Ludwig is probably right, and this would really help out a lot. But I actually don't think this would solve what the core problem is. Because the core problem is that I think that these streams put the website at risk. I think it'll happen sooner than later that people will start talking about it. And it'll be much more pointed than with the with like girls and like, you know, wearing bikinis on stream and stuff. Like, nobody really cares about that. Who gives a fuck? But gambling, I think there are more people that have much stronger feelings about it. And it's also like more tangible, the damage that it does. Whereas like a girl in the bikini, that's not really what it is.
I just thought it was like costume day. That's crazy to me. It makes no damn sense. But that's my new rule. Twitch, if you're watching this, maybe consider it. I don't know. I think it's good. No sponsored gambling streams. That would stop everything. And it would stop.
You could also give them a % equity into a holding company that the gambling area would be a subsidiary. It would be a subsidiary of the gambling company. And then because you're giving them equity, you don't have to disclose ownership. You only have to disclose payment. So, like, I'm telling you guys, like, the reason why I don't gamble is because I am a scammer. I'm a scammer. I scammed people. I was scamming people. I was 5 years old. I was scamming people. I was trying to sell floating rocks. Like, I was trying to do everything that I possibly can. Like, I was just I was scamming people. I was like 12, 13, selling fireworks at middle school. Like, my dad let me do it, right? He taught me everything, you know, and like, so it's like I've got, you know, two, 3, 4 generations of this, right? And so that's it. You selling bathtub water? No, I'm not going to scam people that way. Some of us know better than others. Fuck you, McConnell. They sponsor millions a month. They make millions a month from them. That's true. Here we go.
Us from getting mad at a streamer for taking advantage of being able to make millions of dollars. Not that it's okay to do that, because they're obviously aware and know that they're getting the return from their viewers, but we don't have to look to our streamers to be the beacons of morality when the platform can deal with all of that. But
streamers will never be a beacon of morality, and neither will any individual person, because an ideal can transcend a human. Humans are fallible, greedy, lustful, evil creatures. But an ideal can exist independently from a person that is pure in itself. And that's why I've said never to idealize people, only idealize ideas. People idealize an individual and then they experience dissonance. Remember, that individual has qualities that they dislike. Like, for example, I think that it's great to see somebody like Elon Musk. There are a lot of people that are very happy and they think it's great how, you know, he's made a lot of, you know, improvements with like electric cars and shit like that. They think that's really cool, and they think that means they have to like everything he does. No, they don't. They can like and respect that while at the same time thinking something opposite for other behavior. You see kind of what I'm saying? And I think that's what kids need to be taught more. Tesla Motors, thanks Elon. Can you please come on the stream after the thing, after the trial? Please, Elon, come on the stream.
I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm being too forgiving for streamers. But I guess I know how it is.
It doesn't matter if he's too forgiving, because even if you bully XQC or Train or Aiden Ross into not doing it, they'll just be replaced with somebody else tomorrow.
Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later. That's it. Have a good one.
Great
Goodbye.
video, Ludwig. I love these fucking videos. Ludwig's second channel videos are probably some of my favorite videos on the internet right now. I really like them a lot. They're short, sweet, to the point. He's got a lot of good ideas. I agree with pretty much all of them. I think they're fucking great. Make sure to give them a sub and give it a like. That way it helps the algorithm, etc. I'm going to subscribe to it myself. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fair take, and yeah, I think it was great. And so anyway, Gideon Twitter. What's Gideon up to? I talked to him the other day. I gotta get back to him. Yeah, I don't know. What's he doing? XQC giving his take at the moment. I don't want to restream XQC's stream, man. Like, I'm gonna get off in just a little bit here. Y'all can watch him and see what he says. But I mean, it's like people always get it in their feelings about that, right?